Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Duels. This week we are taking a look at a Temur Turbo Fog deck. So if you haven't already checked out the deck tech, be sure to do so. It should already be out. As always, this video is sponsored by 5 Color Combo, so if you do check the description, you'll find a link to their website where they've got some really cool Magic the Gathering tokens made by real Magic the Gathering artists. So if that's something that interests you, then be sure to check it out. Alright guys, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we're in. We're on the draw. We have all lands and card draw. I don't think this is good enough to keep. 2 lands, both tapped, and nothing good. Down to 5. This one was alright. We actually do have our tutelage, and technically we have the mana to play it down, so it's good enough. Our opponent is rank 28, called Ice Cold Coolio, and he's on red. Not a good sign, but in terms of our board wipe, it is. Glimmer of Genius. Okay, we're just going to go Ether Hub, since it kind of just looks like a colourless land to our opponent, so, you know, least information and all that. It kind of does say that we're more than one colour, but they don't know which colours, so. Blue-red, so this could be another mill deck. It could be Prowess or Burn. If it's Burn, we're kind of in a good spot, kind of, sort of not, but we'll see. Wouldn't mind drawing a blue source here, so I don't have to use my energy to play this tutelage. And, well, at least we get backup energy. That's the thing. Well, I guess I'm just going to play Forest and tutelage here, hopefully. Our opponent doesn't have anything for it, and it can stay there for the rest of time. Cool. Alright. And it looks like a tutelage deck, so whose is faster? Probably our opponent's, because we are more like a stalling kind of deck, in terms of just making sure that we never take combat damage when we need to. Let's have a look. Just a Geist Blast. Okay. Well, we're going to Ether Hub here, and we're going to Glimmer of Genius. Next turn we can actually Nissa, and if we ultimate Nissa, then we might just have enough speed to outmill the mill deck. But anyway, let's pass the turn over. Let's see what they do on their turn, other than Millers as well. So hopefully they don't hit any of our tutelages. That would be upsetting. They hit one of our fogs and another land. Oh god. Alright, well, I'd really like to see a Reclamation Sage and extra lands. We do need a blue source, so I'll take the Lumbering Falls and get 2 triggers on our opponent there. Okay. And another trigger. We might just be able to race our opponent out with Nissa here as well, because we can create some 5/5s that our opponent can't really do much about. So, yeah, let's go Nissa. Got to get the race here, and quite likely the case that we don't. Which one was these that I just placed? It wasn't a forest, so we'll pick the forest. Yeah, it's quite likely that we're not going to beat our opponent in a mill race, so 4 turns of this and we can win. If he has a lightning axe, we lose a land. That would be unfortunate, but 2 triggers for us. If he gets screwed on lands, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Looks like he hit all of our lands and our board wipes, so that's not too bad. If he doesn't have a land drop, then we're off to the races. Telling Time's going to find him that land drop, unfortunately. I don't know why you play Telling Time in a mill deck, because it doesn't actually explicitly say draw the card. It's put one of them into your hand. It's not a bad card in the slightest, but it's not really suited to a tutelage deck. Really. Ooh, a Reclamation Sage. Sweet. 2 red mana. Could still be a Lightning Axe. We hit his Chandra, that's good. Galvanic Bombardment would be for 3 if he has it. He could kill it with 2 bombardments, but that's not too bad. I'd take something like that. Well, we're going to +1 on... Actually, cancel first. We're going to float the mana. +1. Untap the forest and make it a 5/5. This way we get to Reclamation Sage with that mana as well and kill one of his tutelages. Bonk. Get gone, sir. And swing in for 5 again. We got him dead in 2 turns at this rate. But, yeah. Has he got double bombardment or is he going for our sages? Sure, double bombardment it is. That's not too bad. Next turn we can ultimate Nissa and keep her alive, which means every land drop is a card draw trigger. And that'll just mean that we're going to actually maybe mill our opponent out faster that way. So here's to hitting a land next turn. If we don't, we can Glimmer of Genius to find one. Also here's to him not burning our Nissa right now. So that would be unfortunate. And he doesn't, which means we are going to get to ultimate her. And we get another Glimmer of Genius. So I'm going to... Do I want to do it now, or do I want to do it after the Glimmer? What's the advantages doing the Glimmer first? Nothing really. Yeah, let's just ultimate. Every time we play a land, we draw a card, and that mills our opponent for 2. Glimmer of Genius, let's go find ourselves a land. I wish it would have tapped my Ether Hubs, but sure. There's no combat damage, so we'll take the Sanitarium, which is an extra loot for us, and we get a Kozilek's Return as a board wipe as well. So that's 4 triggers, play a land, draw a card, that's another 2 cards minimum. And a Thing in the Ice is pretty good. Pretty good. Might as well play it. Can't see why not. And swing in for 2? Sure. Why not? You got burn for us. Or is it just card draw? Harnessed Lightning. Thing in the Ice. Oh no. He's going for a Reclamation Sage. Sure. Really don't want to take that damage. Don't think I'd have bothered with that because Nissa's just going to kill you in 3 turns anyway. So the Reclamation Sage doing that amount of damage isn't too bad. But he does have a bombardment for the Thing in the Ice, so clearing our board isn't bad for him, I suppose. So, mills us for 2. Sure. Here's to hitting another land. If we hit another land, then we can really get off to a great start and finish our opponent quite fast. Nissa can also grab some of the many lands from our graveyard once she's, well, she's dead. Never mind. Green Warden could grab her back though. And we can maybe ultimate her again, but I think our opponent will just be dead by that point. So, mill our opponent for 2. All fogs are kind of dead cards here, unfortunately. So, we're just gonna try and... Do we not have... Oh, we only have 1 blue source. That's unfortunate. Sure. We'll Glimmer. And... another tutelage. Do we even need another tutelage at this rate? Oh. Can I look behind? There's at least something 3. I think there was like 23. We'll take the tutelage. It's not too bad. We get double tutelage. Sure. We get double triggers. It's 4 cards. Yeah, unfortunately we did not get what we wanted there. Should have probably just Green Warden perhaps and grabbed another land. That's 2 triggers. Did we get his 3rd Sphinx's tutelage? We'll trigger you. Let's find out, because we destroyed 1. That's the one we destroyed. He might still have another one left. Yeah. And it's not outside the realm of possibilities that he can kill us that way. Right, well, we are going to tutelage. Then we're going to comparative analysis with Surge. You can counter it all you want. I'm going to comparative analysis after this. Sure, do it. Surge, draw 2 cards. That's 4 cards out of his deck. We probably draw a land. We do not. We're getting really screwed on these lands. Gosh darn it. Well, 4 cards anyway. End our turn. I think we're discarding, aren't we? Yeah, okay. Get rid of a Turbo Fog card. 2 for us. It's quite low on cards, so something like a what's the majigger? Collective Defiance won't really do anything. There's a land. Beautiful. Land, draw a card, mill for 2. Yep. There's another land. We'll loot. Draw a card, discard a card. He's got Torrential Gear Hulk. What's he casting? What have you got? Let's have a look. A Glimmer of Genius. Okay. Well, we're just going to Hydra Lash you again. So we get another card draw trigger. Mill our opponent for 2. Mill our opponent for 2 off the Sanitarium. He's got to get 19 cards out of our deck officially. There's 4 of them right there. Got rid of our Gear Hulk. Okay, question is, can our opponent get rid of 15 cards? Let's get rid of... Kozilek's Return, I suppose. Because we do have Vexing Scuttler to trigger the Kozilek's Return in our graveyard. Okay. So it's down to this. And... bunk! He's dead. GG! Turbo Fog beat Turbo Mill. Let's get rid of that. It doesn't really matter. Our opponent loses. Alright! Sweet, we won. On to the next game. Alright, we're in. We have a tutelage and lands for days. It's always good to see a tutelage because the deck doesn't really do well without it, but there's too many lands. And we were absolutely rewarded for mulliganing. So we've got pretty much mana for everything in our hand, including the Collective Defiance. We've got a Sphinx's Tutelage on turn 3, right on curve. And more lands, which does mean comparative analysis. Actually, it won't come in on curve, that one. Well, I suppose we'll just go with Rootbound Crag past the turn. See what our opponent's doing. He's on blue-white, so that just says a bit of control to me. Our opponent is rank 26 called Chrono. Blue-white with his full arts. Get you, sir. Get you. And Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Okay. King Looter. Well, we have Commencement of Festivities, though I don't think this is the kind of deck that Fogs will be useful for. We're going to go Ether Hub. We're going to Sphinx's Tutelage. We're going to start the mill train going. See what our opponent can do about it. In blue-white, I don't think there's any enchantment removal. There is suppression bonds, stuff like that. Trying to think what else there might be. Oh, there are a few enchantment removers in white, but I don't know if they're very playable, you might say. Ooh, Nissa. We know how well you work for us. Well, what I can do, is Collective Defiance and discard our entire hand. I don't think Fogs are useful, and Nissa can be grabbed back with a Green Warden. And we could probably get an untapped land in our 6 cards, or 5 cards in this case. But he might have a counter spell. And if he has a counter spell, that would suck. So I suppose I'm just going to hold off and see what he does. 2 blue mana, 3 mana total. It's definitely a counter spell. He's dumping spirits though. So it would have been a spell queller. Bear that in mind. If it is spirits, then our fogs aren't actually that bad. Okay. Going straight to his second main by the looks of it. Unless he wants to send a message by attacking with Jace. Somehow I doubt it. Vexing Scuttler. Okay. Let's bait out a counter spell. Let's try and draw some cards. Yep, there's the spell queller. Well, the upside is, if he doesn't have another counter spell, Collective Defiance can burn away his spell queller, discard our hand, and we get to draw 2 cards as well. First, I believe. Oh no, this will resolve first before that happens. So we'd get 4 triggers, then we'd draw 2 cards, and then do that sort of thing. Jace has flipped. Bear that in mind. Okay. Is he minusing? Has he got any instants or sorceries? He's got Blessed Alliance in here. That doesn't do anything for him, except for gain life. Fair play. So he's just going to plus. With no targets, of course. And get him for 2, would be my guess. Oh, is that a counter spell that he's holding up there? Please tap out. Be so grateful if you did. Well, we get a fog. Let's mill our opponent. Yeah, he's running proper counter spells. Does he have one then? He's got it, right? And I don't really want to throw away a card as good as this for no value. You ultimate at 9, so we can afford to wait, but he can just hold up counter spells for the rest of his days. Ugh. Thing is, we can Collective Defiance with all modes as well, so we could ping his Jace, kill his Spell Queller, which would draw us 2 cards, and dump our entire hand, which will get us a load of triggers. But if he has a counter spell, that's all for nothing. So we'll pass the turn over. See what he wants to do. Here's where I would love to have some counter magic. But we don't. I could try Fog and see if he wants to counter that to get 2 damage in, but I think our opponent's better than that. Yeah, look at him, he's playing this out exactly as he should. Well, we can run Nissa out. He has to have a proper counter spell. Spell Queller won't be able to touch Nissa. Let's do it. Collective Defiance is more important to me, so Convolute. Counter spell unless they pay 4. Alright. Sure. Gotta bait out some of those counters somehow. And Turbo Fogging is not going to do it. Jace is very close to ultimating as well, so we're going to have to pull the trigger on this Collective Defiance very soon. Because if he gets to 9 and ultimates, every single spell mills. How many cards? 5. It's not a lot of time that buys us. We can officially use Lumbering Falls to knock him down a peg though. You know what? That puts a little bit of pressure on it. It buys us some more time as well. He has to flash a creature in because we've got hexproof on this Lumbering Falls. And we're holding up a fog now, so I mean, if he has something to deal 14 damage to us, we have our escape route out of that. Though it will cost us our 1 energy and essentially turn Ether Hub into a colourless mana. Tap out. Tap out. Tap out. Please. I want to punish you for it. Come on. Do it. Always watching. Still got counters open. Turns his Spell Queller into a decent blocker for our Lumbering Falls. Alright. Sure. 3 damage. No taps out. He knows what he's doing. I'll give him that. Miller upon him. Okay, so what we can do here is on his end step, we can Glimmer of Genius, force that counter out. When he counters it, we then get to Collective Defiance and really ruin his day. If he falls for it. If he holds up 2 counter spells, then this plan crumbles. Absolutely crumbles to dust. But we'll see how he wants to play it out. He's bound to counter our Glimmer of Genius though, because it is extra answers for us and a lot of mill triggers for him. Alright, we're going to Glimmer. Have you got a counter? You do not. Reclamation Sage. No. Useful. Useless, sorry. We'll get a land though. So he does seem to have a lot of counter unless you pay X spells. So I'd like to build up my mana for that. Okay. He does still have a counter open. Unfortunately. Play that out. Soon we'll get to the Vexing Scuttler though, which will get us back the Collected Defiance, so this being countered isn't actually that bad. Is it a counter unless you pay 4 on that one? I've never seen anyone play this spell, to be honest. Counter unless you pay 4. So if he had that, we'd be able to pay for it if we only used 1 mode. 1 mode is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 cards off of his... out of his deck. 2 modes is killing Spell Queller and getting 16 and 2 extra card draws off of it. And then the 3rd mode is knocking Jace down a peg. Oh, it's really risky. But I think if we're going to go for more than 1 mode, we might as well go for all modes. Let's see what he's got. All 3 modes. We'll dump our hand. We'll kill Spell Queller. We'll ping at Jace. Come on. Moment of truth. Ah, no. Convolute. Yeah, he had it. Should have gone for 1 mode. It's okay. We can Vexing Scuttler back some stuff. And we're not dead, so we've got Turbo Fog. Got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're going to have to fog this turn. Because next turn we're going to be tapping out with the Scuttler. It's fog. No combat damage. That buys us a turn. Part the Water Veil. Okay. Gets an extra turn. We have an extra fog. He does get an extra trigger on his Jace though. So he might end up milling us out at this rate. We're going to fog again. There's no reason not to. Bonk. No damage. I feel like he had a counter spell for that, judging by that late pause. So no combat damage. Sure. Passes the turn, holding up all of his mana, probably for a counter spell for our turbo fogs. Right, so the problem now is if he has a flash creature and a counter spell, we're dead. Pure and simple. Thought that would come into play untapped. Eh? Shouldn't it? We have an island. And it's a battlefield tapped unless you control a forest or an island. What are these? Is the game trying to murder me? What the hell is this? Okay, well, we're just gonna pass the turn, I guess. Since the game wants to fuck me. Feeling violated. He has to make a 1-1. Sure. In fact, do we have... We can Lumbering Falls, and with the green mana, if we have to, we can commence the festivities. So, Lumbering Falls. Now we do have commence the festivities there as well. Do we just take out his 1-1 here? And go down to 1. Turbo Fog, if we have to. And then we have to force out a block. We're kind of just dead next turn to it anyway. Oh, he's so close to being milled. But we're so close to dying as well. He's been playing a lot of spirits, and a lot of them have flash. So I think we just block Thalia here, as much as I don't want to. Okay. Down to 4. Passes the turn. We get an extra land. It's a Reflector Mage and a land. Vexing Scuttler taps us out, and we die. Sphinx's Tutelage, however, is 6 mana, and we get to leave up 2 for the festivities. If he has a counter spell, which he probably does, then we're dead. But I think we're just dead anyway. Another mill spell, okay. We'll drop the Ether Hub, I guess. No. Drop the mountain. We're not likely to run out of energy before we either win or lose. Alright. Emblem. We get milled for 5. He goes invincible. First thing he does, we're just gonna commence the festivities, so yeah. Do you have a counter spell? You do. Okay. Good to know. Unsubstantiate counters our mill. Mills us for 5. And that's the game. GG! Well, we got close, but opponent just had too many counters. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you did enjoy the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal and lets me know you're enjoying the content. And subscribe if you haven't already for more Magic Duels content. And more Turbo Fog in the future. If you're not sure about subscribing, then stay for the end cards, see the rest of the content I've got to offer, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.